Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Right Way Living and Transformation. I'm your host, Martha Wright. Good morning. I'm trying to get this thing right. Good morning. I'm glad. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. I want to come on just very quickly. I want to talk about a certain topic this morning. I was putting on my little shirt here, if you can see it. Pivot accordingly. Pivot accordingly. And as I was doing my little exercises and everything, I started to think about the word pivot. And the word pivot, I wanted to come to you very quickly and just talk about it because some of us we feeling like we're stuck. We feeling like it's a certain change that we need to make in our lives. We need to do it suddenly. So many different things are happening right now, in our lives, and we're wondering, which way to go, which way to turn. And so, what I wanted to talk to you was about pivot this morning, and I named this topic of this video this morning pivot, pivot. And what it means to pivot, it says to make a significant change or in position, in strategy, or in a process. Again, it's to make a significant change in position, strategy, or process. Significant change. Sometimes we're doing something, we're going along in our business, ministry, in life in general. You know, it might be having to do with our weight. It may have something to do with our health, finances, or whatever it may be. And we know that there needs to be a sudden change. We need to make a difference. Sometimes things are going along and it gets to a standstill, or either you're like at a crossroads. You don't know which way to go. Right? You don't know if I should go to the left, to the right, what I'm just kind of stuck or stagnant. So if we pivot, it means just to make a sudden change, a sudden strategy. It may be something you may have to change in your business plan, with your health, with your finances. You might have to get on a different budgeting plan or something immediately that you might need to do. You may need to do at that time. So pivoting is not a bad thing. Some of us, we don't want to change. We're going in a certain direction, and to be honest about it, a lot of us don't want to. We don't want to hear what the other people have to say. Well, I knew they wasn't going to do this. I knew it was going to fall short. I knew they were going to get stuck. I told them better. But when you know better, you know what's best for you, then you have to do according to what is best for you. So if it's to take that change, you may need to change your strategy. You may need to change the plans. You may need to change it all the way around. Don't feel bad about it. Pivot is good. Take that chance, take that change, and move on and move forward. A prime example is someone I know that started videos, live videos, and everything, and they just didn't feel as though that the videos was going through. It wasn't getting the attention that it needed, or it wasn't getting to the right people. So they kind of stopped at that point. They didn't do anymore. They knew it within their minds and their heart that this is something that they were supposed to do. It's a vision for them. It's a purpose for them. But they kind of stayed stuck because it just didn't look the way they thought it should look. So instead of them just stopping and not doing anything, a good thing would have been just to find another strategy, right? And I can account to that myself, to find just another strategy, to do something different, to make a change. Throughout throughout my life, I've done so many different things, and some of you that know me, I've sold Mary Kay. I've done um, I did all types of different things, different little businesses I've been into, all types of different things. And at one time I would feel as though it was a failure. I didn't care. Sometimes I didn't carry it through because of fear, and then sometimes I just gave up rather than just finding another strategy or another way of doing things. um, as I fast forward, all those things that I've done is coming back together for me in these times, uh, as that I'm in right now. They're coming out. They're coming back to me. They're coming back like the organizing. I never really stopped the organizing, but I stopped the organizing business. But now I want to. My strategy plan is to share my organizing tips with others. So I have to come up with another strategy. I have to come up with another process of how I'm going to do this. All I'm trying to say, y'all, is everything we do is not just wasted. Take the things that happen with you, that you have done in the past that you felt like was a failure, that you felt like didn't go any further, or what, you got stagnant in, you let it go, you put it aside for a while. And if it's really a passion for you, if you know it's something that's going to benefit you and others, um, not just getting out there just to be doing it, just to be seen, but if it's going to be a benefit for you as well as it will for others, especially others. We are out there to help other people to do things and to get things better in their lives as well. And so all those things that you have done, it's just not it. Don't just put it as, well, I did it. It was a waste of time. I just putting us, just giving up on it. Take another strategy, take another a process with it, and make the change if that's for you. Now, some things we've done, we know, well, it wasn't in the plan. It wasn't in the plan, so we move on and move forward. But there are things that you have done in your life and you're still doing, and you know that it's part of your purpose, it's part of the vision, it's part of who you are. Then, you know, find another strategy, find another process. As I was telling you, give an example with me, the organizing. I used to like to go and organize closets and uh, kitchens and garages, which was the hardest thing for me, the garages. But, you know, and then I stopped. I stopped for fear. Yeah, and I have to be honest with you, fear. I've stopped by listening to the naysayers. Please, y'all, if you know it's for you to do, don't listen to. You can hear the naysayers, but let it go through one ear and come out another, because you have to do what's best for you. But with me at that time, there's a lot of things that stop me from moving on and moving forward in it, but I didn't let it go completely. And here and there, I still do the closets and organizing of different things, and now I have another strategy, because I know that's a part of my purpose. Organizing for me is just like cleaning yourself out eternally, external and internal. External and internal. That's what I feel about it, and I look at it on a spiritual point of view, because we many of us, we organize. We have our house on the outer surface. Everything looks good. People come in your home and they say, "Wow, this is immaculate. It looks good and everything." And we open some of those closets, and everything start falling out, right? It just piles and piles and piles of junk and things. So it's really on a spiritual basis, really, because if we think about it, on the outer appearance, people see, oh, she got it going on, or he got it, he looks, everything's good. But inside, how much are we holding in? How much have we can't, things that we can't even let go of, and it's building up. It's building up. It's so full. If when we start opening the door, we start opening our heart, and we start really letting things out, it's gonna really be, oh, it's gonna be, it's gonna be immaculate, right? Because things gonna start falling out. Things gonna start, things that were hidden is gonna come out. Uh, like my parents used to always tell me, everything in the dark will come to the light. So spiritually, organizing, to me, I don't just look at it as just organizing in a home or a business or whatever, I look at it on a spiritual basis as well. Because when we have our inner being renewed and restored, then our outer is going to look much, much better than what um, we're trying to disguise it to be. So it's more than that. So I'm saying that just to say that's one of my purpose, to let everyone know, it's a spiritual thing, but and so we have to let go of some of those things. And I love to get in there and, help people to get things in order. And it gives them some clarity, some peace, some calmness, and then they can go on and work on their spiritual part of themselves. So I say all of that to say, whatever it is, whatever you've been working with, and you have put it aside, but it's a part of your vision, it's a part of your purpose, find a strategy. And maybe you might have to change that strategy. You may have to change the process. You may have to change the position that you're in, and just change it and take a pivot and turn it around. Now, what others say or how they feel or what, don't worry about that. The change may be just what you need. That may be the doors of opportunity that you have been waiting for, but you're so afraid to change. You're so afraid to make a different step, go in a different direction. You're so afraid of what maybe others going to say. You're afraid of, is this going to work out? And if it don't work out, you continue to pivot until it does. Until it does. Because if it's for you, it's for you. It's for you. But we have to do the work. We can pray to God. He'll give us the vision. He'll give us the purpose. He'll show us which way to go. It's up to us to get moving. It's up to us to make it happen. We got to put forth the effort. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Let's look at some people in the Bible. Saul of he was of Tarsus. I could, but Saul, you remember Saul? He disliked Christians and everything else, but he made a pivot on the road to Damascus, and he turned his life around and followed Jesus. That's a big pivot, and many of us have been just like Saul. Well, we was in that world. We were doing everything everybody else was doing, wanting to be accepted by everyone, living our quote unquote best life. That wasn't the best life. It wasn't the life that God had for us. But when we turned our lives around, when we made that pivot, that change, that sudden move, then a different strategy in our life, a different process, it was totally different. Saul changed his whole complete person. He went from Saul to Paul, right? So even his name changed. So it was a big pivot for him. And then think about Mary and Joseph. They were older, but they were told that they were going to be the parents of the of a savior of the world, the Messiah of the world. Now you think about it. I'm old in age, but you're telling me I'm going to welcome the Messiah or the Savior as of the world to be my child. That's a big pivot. They have to take a big turn in life, right? A big change. I think about my parents. It took me in at 3 months old. My uncle and aunt, they took me in at 3 years old, and that's all I know as parents. They are my parents, but they were older in age as well. And they could have just well said, hey, I'm older. I don't want any more kids. I have my child. I have one child, and that's good enough. But they did a pivot. They did a pivot. They had a strategy for my life. They had a process for how they were going to raise me and to the woman that I am today. And they had a position for me, position for themselves. They had to make a big pivot in their life. So many of us, sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we have to pivot immediately because things happen, life happens, and we have to make sudden changes in our lives. So all I'm saying today is Excuse me. What I'm saying today is if you need to pivot, then do so. Don't just sit there waiting. Don't just say, I'm waiting on God because He's waiting on you. And get up and make the move, make the change. Start right now, start today, immediately. Changing your position, change the strategy, and change the process. I sit here and I be on these videos. I come on. Sometimes God give me things on my in my mind when I'm praying or in a quiet space, and they'll say, "Go talk on this video, or go and speak of such and such and such," and I'll let it just pass me by. Just pass me by. I find excuses. I get to doing other things, you know, and then it just passes me by. Then I can look at another person's video or a sermon or even a talk or whatever, and the same thing God had given me to talk about, he put it on the mind of someone else. So I say all of that to say, if you just stop, you're not doing anything, you're just waiting, you putting off, you're procrastinating, you waiting for somebody else to help you when you just need to make a little change or pivot or change your strategy, change your position, change your process. If you just sitting back and just waiting, God's going to have somebody else to do it, because it will be done with or without you. So why not be blessed and be grateful that He's given you the opportunity to do whatever it is that He's put before you to do? Why not just step into the water like Peter did? Peter said, Jesus, if that's you, call me to come to you. And he said, let me walk on this water. And he started walking he was doing it, right, y'all? He was doing it. But Peter didn't pivot. He got afraid, just like most of us do. And then he feared, and he started to drown or whatever. And Jesus said, ye of little faith, ye of little faith. He could have done it if he just kept his mind and his eyes stayed upon God. And if he just would have accepted the strategy, accepted the process, and knew his position, and just pivot. But he didn't. He let the fear stop him. Many of us, including myself, we let the fear stop us. So let's not fear today. Let's not worry about what we failed in the past. Uh, you know, this we did this before, we did that before, it didn't work. It may be still there waiting for you to pick it back up, to make a different strategy, to try a different process in a different position in that same area that you left standing there waiting. So today, let's pivot. Let's pivot. Make that change. Hey, you could do it. If I could do it, you can do it. So I'm saying from this day forward, I'm pivoting. I'm pivoting with my organizing business. I will be coming on videos just to give some organizing tips. Hey, they may have some other people that have greater organizing tips. I'm quite sure they have people out there with more knowledge of organizing than I have. But what I have, I can still give. What you have, you can still give. So let's not look at everybody else. What is it that you have to give? So whatever it may be, maybe you were doing taxes. Hey, let's start it. Pick it back up. Pivot. Start another strategy. Start another plan. So hey, from now on, I'm gonna start with my organizing. Another thing, I have to come on here live. I need to come on here live, and I need to pick a day that everybody, we can come on together. Y'all can chat and we can discuss. I'm trying another strategy. I'm not gonna just sit still and try to work the same thing when I know it can grow in doing more and more and more, right? It can grow in doing things better, doing some things different. So what is it today that you need to make a change in? What is it you need to strategize? What is it you need to do a different process? What is it you need to have a different position? Let's pivot today. Let's pivot and let's stop waiting, because somebody's out there waiting for you. Only you. Yeah, there's many others doing different things just as we do. But what do you have to give? And that's all that matters. So let's pivot. I love y'all and have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye bye now.